Here's why Phyllis won't forgive Sharon, even though she didn't kill Heather on the young and the restless. Introduction. On the young and the restless few relationships have been as tempestuous and layered as the one between Phyllis Summers and Sharon Newman. Their rivalry is the stuff of soap opera legend, featuring emotional highs, brutal lows, and moments of forgiveness, though forgiveness is something that often seems elusive when it comes to the two women. One of the most contentious chapters in their long history was centered around the death of Heather Stevens, a pivotal character whose death would become an anchor in the storylines of both Phyllis and Sharon. Although Sharon was exonerated in Heather's death, Phyllis has not been able to let go of the past, especially where Sharon is concerned. This essay will explore the complicated emotional dynamics between Phyllis and Sharon, looking at the events that led to Phyllis's refusal to forgive Sharon, and the role Heather's death plays in that ongoing conflict. We'll also consider the deeper psychological motivations behind Phyllis's inability to move on, despite Sharon's exoneration, and how this tension serves as a catalyst for the intricate character development that both women undergo in the young and the restless Chapter 1. Phyllis and Sharon. A history of rivalry. Phyllis Summers and Sharon Newman are both complex characters who have experienced significant personal trials, but their paths have often crossed in ways that have made them bitter enemies rather than allies. Their rivalry is rooted in several key factors, including shared romantic interests, personal insecurities, and a long series of betrayals and misunderstandings. Sharon, known for her compassionate and caring nature, has often found herself caught in the crossfire of Phyllis's more calculating, ruthless approach to life. Phyllis, driven by a combination of ambition and personal pain, has consistently clashed with Sharon, especially when it comes to their respective relationships with Newman. Phyllis's resentment toward Sharon has been fueled by Sharon's perceived moral superiority and Phyllis's belief that Sharon has frequently used her softness and vulnerability as a weapon in their battles. Meanwhile, Sharon has never truly forgiven Phyllis for the various ways she's interfered with her life, particularly in terms of her relationships and her children. Their rivalry has always been fueled by a deep sense of competition and jealousy, making any chance of reconciliation seem unlikely. In a world where every action is scrutinized and every secret is exposed, Phyllis and Sharon's antagonistic relationship has only become more entrenched as time has gone on. Each new twist in their stories serves to deepen their mutual hatred and reinforces the idea that neither woman will ever forgive the other, or so it seems. Chapter 2. The death of Heather Stevens. The catalyst for Phyllis's refusal to forgive. In many ways, Heather Stevens' death acts as a lightning rod for Phyllis's ongoing refusal to forgive Sharon. While the events leading up to Heather's death were tragic and involved many of the key players in Genoa City, it was Sharon's involvement, or perceived involvement, in the incident that would set the stage for an even deeper animosity between the two women. Heather Stevens, a talented attorney and former lover of both Nick and Daniel Romalotti, met her untimely demise under suspicious circumstances. Her death became one of the central mysteries on the young and the restless a plotline that would involve several of Genoa City's key characters, including Sharon and Phyllis. Although Sharon was eventually exonerated, Phyllis could not easily absolve her of the perceived role she had played in the tragic event. At the time of Heather's death, Sharon had been in a fragile emotional state, exacerbated by the ongoing turmoil in her personal life. Phyllis, ever the skeptic, believed Sharon was hiding something, and she couldn't shake the notion that Sharon had a hand in Heather's demise, even though the facts didn't support this theory. Phyllis's suspicions were fueled by a deep-seated belief that Sharon was always willing to deceive, manipulate, and betray others to protect her own interests, and Phyllis saw Heather's death as just another example of this. Even when Sharon was cleared of any wrongdoing in the case, Phyllis continued to harbor the belief that Sharon's actions and behavior were to blame for the tragic chain of events that led to Heather's death. Phyllis's refusal to forgive Sharon was not simply based on the facts of the case, but on her personal animosity and the long-standing wounds that had never fully healed. Chapter 3. The emotional toll of grief and guilt. Phyllis's inability to forgive Sharon is further compounded by her own complex emotional history. Phyllis, like Sharon, has experienced immense